Hello everyone, today I will be making banana bread. So let's begin. For this recipe, you will need flour, some melted butter, some sugar, and of course, most importantly, 3 bananas. They have to be ripe bananas. Of course, you'll also need some baking powder, and 2 eggs. If you want, you can also get vanilla extract and vanilla sugar, but that is optional. So the first step of my recipe is to heat up the oven to 175 degrees Celsius on dry heat. Okay, now that we have done that, now time to begin with the recipe itself. First, get yourself a nice big bowl, and then get your 3 ripe bananas and peel them. Now, what I like to do is to mash these bananas with a fork. And this is why you want them to be specifically ripe, so you can mash them together. You could also use a mixer, but if you don't have that, you can always use a fork. So now that you mashed your bananas together, get your melted butter and pour it in here. And once you have poured your butter in, you should continue mixing until the butter has mixed in with the banana puree we've made here. Now, when you did all that, your batter of sorts should look like this. Of course, if there's still some banana bits left in there, you should definitely mash them up. But now you should add the eggs. And while you're mixing the eggs, after you finish mixing the eggs, you can add some sugar. Me personally, I really like adding 4 spoons of sugar, but if you want, you can always add just 2. And now mix it all together. Now, be warned, while mixing, some of the baking powder will get up on the sides, so I recommend scraping that off also while tilting the bowl. And now, after all of that, this is the most important part, the flour. You need a lot of it, about 400 grams, I think, or 200, depending on the batter you're making, how much you're making. So, what I recommend doing is pouring a little bit at a time and mixing in it. Now, the consistency of the batter should be thick, but not so thick that you can't pour it. What we're trying to get here is to pour this whole entire mixture in a bread tray. Should also be doing is checking every time you add some flour if any of the batter is sticking to your fork. If it isn't, then that means you should be adding more and more flour. As you can see, it's not sticking, it's falling off right here. And of course, while mixing, you should also tilt your bowl and collect all the flour from the sides. You don't want any flour missing from this mixture. You want it all in there. After all that, now you have gotten your batter. It should be thick, but it should be pourable. This is the consistency. It kind of sticks, but then lets go in a way. So now that you've gotten your bread tray ready, either spray down with some oil or cover in baking paper. You should get your batter and pour it in here. You want to pour it evenly, and if there are any bits left, then you can just always use a utensil to just get it out of there. So there we go. Here's our bread. And now let's put it inside the oven. And once your bread has been put in there, set the timer on either from 35 minutes to 40. And here we go. This is the bread that we got. If you want to check if the bread has been thoroughly cooked, you could either get a fork or a knife and stab it into the bread and pull it out and check if there's any moisture left on whatever you're using. If there is, then you'll probably need to bake it for another 10 minutes. And that's all.